That was good. That's good. I had a good time. It was exciting.
It was fun. And I can't wait to talk about it.
Really?
Yeah.
What's up, my noodles? She had no idea that was running the whole time.
Do you remember when he used to do the back behind the scenes, but while he was setting up? Yeah, he just did that to me now.
Oh, man, I tell you what, we just got finished watching Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, and I'm going to disappoint a lot of the other pundits out there, people who have given all kinds of criticisms. I do have things to say about it, but I, for one, I enjoyed this installment, and I think it definitely deserves to be right there in line with the other movies. If you're like me and you like Ghostbusters 2, you're going to enjoy this movie also.
I agree.
Let's get into it. Hey! So I tell you,
We saw it fast.
yeah, man. I tell you
We
what.
saw it in the theater because I didn't see Ghostbusters, like the original one,
Yeah.
in the theater. So I started seeing them in the theaters.
And of course,
It's round.
we're not alone. We brought some fun stuff.
Goodies.
We went to an AMC, so I got the collectible. You're supposed to put your popcorn in this thing.
And they'll do it.
They would have totally done it. And I decided I didn't want to do that. I decided I'd rather have, I wanted to be a geeky kid and collect it. What?
Does it have wheels?
Yeah. Like a regular one?
It's lit up, right?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! I didn't know any of this existed on that because this is my toy right
There
here.
you go. She got that one.
So cute. And you know what's funny?
Good. Yeah, just pop
Hey,
out.
happy. And now he's mean.
It's awesome.
He's so fun.
Yeah, no, it's very cool. And I also brought some. And I also got this cup.
The cup that glows in the dark
This
too.
is my new fun cup as far as I'm concerned.
We're gonna have to show it eventually because it was not real dark in the theater because of the movie itself.
No, it's all good. But I'm excited. So yeah, let's
Let's do
talk.
it.
Let's talk about this thing. So a lot of people have had all kinds of criticisms. They've said that totally spoiler. This is a spoiler review. We're not
As
going to
spoiled as we can do.
Yeah, I just got to talk about it. We got to talk about it. What are some of your first impressions? Let's look at first impressions.
It reminded me a lot of the Afterlife, and I like that because I loved the new characters. I think McKenna. I can never remember her last name. McKenna Grace.
Yeah.
Two first names. You would think. McKenna Grace, Finn Wolfhard, and Carrie Coon, Carrie Coon and Paul Rudd. They look so good together still. Yeah.
There's a moment that Paul Rudd becomes my new favorite person of all time. So yeah, man, I loved it. I felt like I agree with you. I felt like it had the same energy as Afterlife.
Good.
The story's real fast. I'm not gonna do a full recap like I would normally do because I want you to see the movie. But we are gonna talk about fun stuff and we're gonna pick and choose. So right off the bat, the Spanglers plus Paul Rudd have all moved into the firehouse.
Yes.
And Paul Rudd's character is now a stepdad. He apparently in the last 2 years.
His name is Gary. Her name
Gruberson.
is Gary Gruberson. Yeah.
And so they have all married.
He's married to.
And she kept her Spangler.
Spangler.
She kept her Spangler last name. 3 Spangler people are now representing the thing. There was some, and then so they're working as Ghostbusters. But that's not where the movie starts. The movie actually starts at the same firehouse in 1904. In 1904, what happens? The fire department actually at the time, hook and ladder number 8, decide to, hey, what's going on?
Hi, Lala.
Ghostbusters with us, no problem. There you go. It's Kitty Know-It-All. And so Rose, she's Kitty Know-It-All. And so the fire department gets called to the Adventure Society or Society of Adventurers, which is in Brooklyn, New York.
Extraordinary something.
Something adventure or something.
They were Ghostbusters.
And so these guys, they go in and it's this room, everything is frozen. And I mean frozen like you've seen, and it's that one scene, but it's out of time. And the dude touches it and they all start exploding. That brings us to the present. That's where you see the present. In the present, you see that one scene where everybody's driving around. And they're chasing the dragon thing that's it's a ghost spectral dragon.
Yes, in which Phoebe goes, "Oh, that's the blah 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 dragon."
Yep.
It's the Cantonese fire dragon or something like that.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't blow fire, but it's from the restaurant that it came from. It was haunting this anyways. It doesn't matter. They were Ghostbusters.
Yeah, they were Ghostbusters. It was great. And I love and I love the fact that so everything in this movie feels very lived in. And by that I mean, as they're driving, the car loses power, not the engine parts, but like all the things that they do that supports them. And so literally you have to see Wolf,
His name, Trevor.
right, the character of Trevor, played by
Finn
Wolfhard, has to fix some wiry stuff and do some things and turn it back on. And at one point he's controlling the remote control trap.
Yeah.
And then because the thing gets too high in the sky, and again, McKenna Grace is shooting it from out. She's in the gunner seat again because the gunner seat was amazing. And it gets too high in the sky. So what happens? Mom to the rescue. She literally puts on the little race dance visor. And next thing you know, they have a drone trap.
I mean, they've advanced since the last time we saw them in Afterlife. So you can tell Trevor knows what to do mathematically and engineering, like
cool.
twisting wires,
That's
which
very cool.
actually I shouldn't have said. I don't want to talk about. That's a bad comment. I shouldn't have said that. He worked on that car to get it running again.
He did.
So that's
very
why
mechanically
very
inclined.
mechanically inclined.
Which is
so
so, I
that's
feel
something
like that's
that
a good example of, even though Phoebe got the brains, and by that I mean she's more like Egon in her mindset and the kind of science she's into. Fred Wolf. Why do I want to keep calling him Finn Wolfhard?
Trevor.
Trevor he's very Ray Stantz like. He's got the fix it stuff.
right.
He can really mechanically
build it because Ray built the goggles.
Yeah, but mechanically
and Egon.
it was all the proton packs.
Egon drew everything.
Yeah, man, the proton packs, designed all this stuff. He did all the heavy science work. I feel like if Phoebe is theoretical physics, Trevor is more applied physics.
Applied.
You know, I was like, good for them. Experimental, totally.
Experimental.
So there were some parts of. Overall, I watched growing up the Ghostbusters cartoon, the real Ghostbusters. And I had read an article where one of the producers said that they really took a lot of inspiration from that medium. And by the inspiration, I don't mean everything, because there is some stuff. They have the Ecto C, which is literally a motorcycle.
Yeah, I didn't know that. You
The
told me that
motorcycle
during
was
the movie.
straight from the cartoon.
He goes, that's from the cartoon.
Yeah, 100%. The motorcycle is 100% with the cartoon. I'll see if I can find a clip to put here, or possibly a picture if I can find it. And then
And we saw that at the museum.
yes.
And I don't mean to cut you off, but I love the fact that the original museum guy that called the
librarian.
original the head librarian actually called them back, and they found that actor to do that. That was awesome. I just wanted to say that was pretty cool.
Yeah, little Easter eggs that really worked well. And so then the really interesting thing that I thought about that whole scene was Winston has become their financial benefactor.
Yes.
It's been years since the Ghostbusters officials did anything. Everybody's gone off to do their own little things. And Winston, he took his degrees and everything else because Winston is a scientist. He just was not their kind of scientist. People forget that when he's talking, he's got degrees in this and this and this. Like when he was doing his interview, yes, it boiled down to if there's any paycheck.
Drink out of that because I'm so used to having a drink with me, and it's not full. Sorry, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. And so but he's now bankrolling them, and he's built this whole little ghost studying institute for them, a sort of Ghost Central or whatever.
And while ghosts aren't running rampant in New York at this moment, Ray, this was such a cool idea, like the Ghostbusters came up with. Ray does this show
like a podcast on Let's go like a video down.
Excuse me.
Much like you're watching right now. Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
But it's to get any cursed object, those spirits out.
Yes.
So they have another containment unit.
Yeah,
they have
stuff to him and he takes the PKE meter and sees, oh, look, yeah, this is great. And he buys it off them and he turns it into Winston and his people. I saw a criticism online that said there were too many characters introduced. I felt like the movie balanced everyone fine.
I don't think there were too many characters introduced.
Now, I'm going to tell you, unlike other movies, there's not a lot of character building because we know these characters. So nobody gets a lot of character building in terms of their understanding. There's a little bit for Phoebe because she's going through some stuff, and you'll talk a little bit about that. But at the same time, like we're introduced to Penfield, who's a new scientist kid that works for Winston. Lucky is back. The young lady, she's on an internship, if you will, and Podcast is back. Again, characters we all met.
We already know. The only one is the intern, and then the fire king starter.
Oh yeah, Kumail Nanjiani.
Yeah,
who plays the fire master.
So I knew it was a fire something.
Yeah. So it turns out.
Oh, hi! Really?
Yeah. All the cast have decided they want to come out. No, that's awesome. Yes, that's right. We have Simon Know-It-All and Rose Know-It-All, and they're both here, and they have decided because we left the door open to come in, and that's okay. We love our cats. We're cat people. Anyway, so the
those are the. I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
Because literally we're the only two people that we were introduced to, and it wasn't like we needed to know much more about them.
I don't think so either.
I think we did good.
Something I really liked about this movie is that it expanded the lore of the Ghostbusters.
I think it did.
And by that I mean I actually commented about this online on X recently. The first movie introduced the concept of Gozer and had this whole big thing, and everything since then has really been predicated on Gozer.
Yes.
So Gozer weakened. Gozer was coming in. We find out today the Manhattan cross rip that when Peck turned off the thing, exploded and caused. That's what allowed Vigo the Carpathian to come back in the second movie.
Yep.
And then now we have last time in the third one, it was the full culmination of the Gozer storyline, which to me was just no different than the Force Awakens revisiting.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's okay because you didn't have to do that.
If 30 years.
After 30 years, yeah.
So then this one introduces something new. And I loved that. Because the one thing that the Ghostbusters cartoon always did was it always introduced new elements. Sure, you had your class 1 this or class 2 this or that or the other. But then, then once in a while, every season or so, you'd have the big bad. And so this introduces this new big bad, which you've all seen him. He's the one with the horns and all freezing everything.
Dude.
Yeah, totally. That's him right there.
That's I have very little criticisms about this movie. Again, the only thing I would have really liked to have seen is more of the bigger build-up to what's going on so I can see more ghost busting. I kind of have to say I missed...
That's fair.
I kind of missed the very first Ghostbusters where, they showed like the...
Where's our musical montage?
Because it was New York, and I feel like because we were in New York, that should have happened again.
Where's our musical montage?
That was... I know, yeah.
Although, to be fair, we kind of got that after that first thing because they caused a little bit of damage. The news reporter is talking about, and they showed commercials that's total nostalgia bait. Like, I got to admit, a lot of parts of this movie were nostalgia bait all day long.
There's so much nostalgia from the first movie.
They showed commercials with the Ghostbusters toys. They showed commercials with the Ghostbusters cereal. They showed them actually in their music video. And it's people want to sit here and go, it's meta. No, they were mini celebrities in the 80s.
In that time period. I mean, that's what so yeah, I just would have liked to have seen a little more build up. We did get, in the beginning, we did get Phoebe getting the dragon. Just like in Afterlife, we got Podcast and Phoebe getting munch. So, I mean, I just would have liked to see a little more. That's all. I would like to see, because we catch so many ghosts. And I like seeing all the ghosts.
The other thing that I liked a lot is that every character still maintained their thing. So, for instance, the minute Ray gets involved, Dan Aykroyd hasn't missed a beat.
He hasn't.
He
really hasn't. And he seems like he literally has grown old. And for real Ghostbusters world, the way he acts through it is amazing.
There's this wonderful moment where Winston is, because after something big happens, the kids almost get endangered, in trouble, whatever, and hurt. And at one point, Winston's looking at him. He's like, we're too old for this. This was your golden years. And he looks at him real sincerely and says, this is what I want to do for my golden years.
Yeah. I mean, how can you take that away to
he's like, something? Oh my God. And you knew they sprinkled little bits in there because while he's in his shop doing some stuff, the car goes by and he's kind of has like, oh yeah, I remember those days. Look on his face. And I'm just like, God, dude, I get it. He wishes he could be out there doing the thing, man.
Yeah, he wishes he could be in the field. Now, do you have anything to say about anything else you didn't like? Because I really want to talk more about what we do like. We liked the movie. I mean, I like Peck as mayor.
So I like Peck as mayor. I feel like he was underutilized.
Very much underutilized.
I feel like
I feel like he's ill.
Yeah, I think he's just an old guy. I do like what happens toward the end, but I feel like him in general, I feel like he was in it just to be in it and just to be Walter Peck and just to be that person. And again, so one of the other commentators, and I do understand this, how did he go from being head of the EPA to mayor? Like, how did that transition happen? But either way, I liked the intent behind it.
I do too.
Some of the story beats that I know you didn't like was you felt like they were really hammering home Phoebe's it felt like it was like they were almost abusing her.
Yeah, and that's what I was uncomfortable. I'm just like, y'all just need. She is the smartest one out of all of you. I'm sorry, and you just dismiss her constantly. It was almost like it was actual turnoff for me for the movie is how many times she was dismissed.
You actually looked at me. You said this movie's really. I cannot deal with them constantly treating her like this. Which, by the way, I believe that's that's the response you're supposed to have to those moments.
Yeah, but the problem is I lost interest because one of the following scenes immediately was when Trevor came down to say that there's something in there, or not immediately, but I started to notice it more. Trevor came down because there's something in the attic, which we found out was Slimer, which was so cool.
Sure, no,
and Callie, mom, like she was in the first one, very aloof and everything. And she's like, well, you're an adult. You go deal with it. And it's like, I'm sorry, there's something in my attic. Can you just not be such a, I don't know. She rubbed me the wrong way this time.
Can you not be such a Ghostbuster? Like, it's so ho-hum. But that means it's become sort of normalized. Like, they're like, yeah, sure. Oh, something creepy in the attic? Fine, whatever. Just, take it back and go look, whatever. I really liked I felt like they've understood where in time they wanted everyone to exist. And by that, I mean,
like that, yeah.
Clearly, this isn't their first day being Ghostbusters.
No.
When we start the movie. Clearly, in that 2 years since the last movie, because they give that time frame. Dude married the mom.
Callie and Carrie got married,
They've moved into the firehouse.
Yep.
And at one point when they pass by these police officers, this young cop is like, should we call this in? And dude's like, why? Should we take care of it? Like, they're taking care of it. So clearly the people in New York understand how this all works again.
Yeah.
And so
everything seems to have been kept under control for the most part.
Yes.
And it sounds like we come in on the last straw.
Yes.
Of the city tolerating Ghostbusters again.
Physical damage to everything. No, it's something else. But yeah, so anything else about the movie you wanted to cover that you thought was worth discussing?
Well, we talked about.
I thought having too many. I thought the callback to the little teeny. I thought the callback to the Stay Puft guys was a little bit like. It felt like, oh, this again? For that, I thought that gag was a little weird. I loved all the individual setups at the Institute.
Let's talk about the Institute, shall we?
Sure.
The Institute was really, I think, really cool. Again,
it's a converted aquarium or something.
Converted aquarium, so it's all these different
huge spaces.
Think about it, they're just these little big. The big aquarium has all little tiny aquariums in it, so it's perfect. I love the concept of that.
Yeah, they've the basic just for those of you playing at home. They've the same technology that makes the trap. They've built into rooms so that these ghosts can't leave their rooms and they can be observed. And that's when you get all these interesting little.
You learn more about like Egon's science behind all this because they're like, oh, they can't get out because the barriers are charged with protons.
Sure.
And that's totally a Spangler move.
Here, sounds sciencey.
That again, it takes the bad spirit out. The item is there, and then they suck them into a room.
That's right.
And it's really cool. I was thinking that if and it's possible we get another one to close this chapter. I feel like this is 2 out of 3.
It could be
because I think there's so much more.
I see it. I see them ongoing. I see them.
I do too.
They started Ghost Corps as this production company exclusively to develop Ghostbuster properties.
That's wonderful. So, I didn't know that. I think that's awesome. That's awesome. Because I can see that aquarium because we've learned that the firehouse is actually like a huge portal now. And the firehouse now is a huge trap now. So I can see how the aquarium would come into play. They really did a good job with the aquarium.
Mm-hmm. I thought so too. So there you go. Now you know. And once after the battle, you're halfway to being a know-it-all or a Ghostbuster yourself. What are the know-it-all indexes for this movie for us? I want you to go first.
So for me, I will watch the movie again. It wasn't as wonderful as having Afterlife.
Sure.
but I didn't think I was really excited for Afterlife because I didn't have a movie for a long time. I'm going to go with an 8 out of 10.
I think it's awesome. I think that after really kind of thinking long and hard about it, is this the kind of movie that's going to like win awards and stuff like that? Probably not. No. But it's a fun beginning. We're closing on the beginning of summer. Things are about to. Spring break is literally around the corner.
It's a good warm up to summer movies.
Absolutely. I feel like this movie is paving the way for those kind of fun. This felt like a really good, fun movie. I can't wait to see how it does. I don't think it's going to do like gangbusters at the box office, but I do think that they're going to do well enough. Also, you have to remember, no Ghostbusters movie other than maybe the first has ever done amazingly out of like astronomical
numbers.
No, but I feel like this is a solid entry in the Ghostbusters franchise.
Yeah.
I think they've really built something nice. I mean, I feel like, okay, a little bit of future before I give, because I do want to give my number. I feel like you do one more movie, finish off that thing, and then you shift to maybe doing a series, a prestige style series somewhere, and you build, whether it's them or not, what you do, maybe you have them, you have Winston cameo, and you have him actually doing what they always talked about, which is starting a franchise, and now you have the Ghostbusters in Philadelphia, or the Ghostbusters someplace else.
That's a cool concept.
And once in a while, you can have cameos.
CSI New York.
Right.
No, but it makes sense.
These characters in New York. The series can be other Ghostbusters in wherever, Miami, LA, someplace else, and I think that could potentially be really fun in terms of fun storytelling, because we know that the animated series did a really good job of being able to let us know that there are potential for
more
other
stories.
Stories. So my note I'll index for this was a tiny bit better than hers. I'd say 8.5 out of 10. So yeah, man, comment below. Let us know your thoughts. What are you into? Are you loving it? If you've gone out already and seen the movie, which collectible thing did you get? I know that some of the other theaters had Slimer buckets that actually were Slimer's face, and you could pull the popcorn out of him. And then the other ones like AMC had the trap and the little not to say plushie. It's not a plushie.
See, but I feel like this is Slimer goes through all the movies. Why? And he was introduced in the OG.
He was.
I think this is our Slimer.
Okay.
I think this is going to be our Slimer that we see all the time. Yeah.
Well, because there's a mid-credit scene right after the title credits that is literally the little Stay Puft guy stealing a Stay Puft Marshmallow truck. I don't know. It's like any groundwork for any kind of a sequel. I think it's just a fun button to put on the thing that shows that they're out in the world. So yeah, man. I think do a quick little prediction. I think we're not prediction, but sort of a theory crafting. I think they should absolutely revisit. We talked about it when I saw the trailer, and they should revisit that storyline from the comics, which is where Walter Peck has no choice, because at the very end of this, he wants to shut them down.
The end is perfect. You guys have done it. You're all out of here.
And sure enough, the people in New York are like, oh my gosh, aren't you great? Aren't you excited? They saved New York and this and that. And he's like, yeah, totally. I would love it if he decides to make them a municipality, like the ambulance, like the police. It'll be the Ghostbusters. And this way they would have to answer to him. And I think that's
Peck's problem.
All right, guys, comment below. Let us know what you thought. I enjoyed the heck out of this movie.
We did too.
Oh, it's so much fun. So much fun. All right, guys, we'll talk to you very, very soon. Never forget.
Everyone loves a know-it-all.
Talk to you later.
Bye.